All right, so today was an interesting day. I took several trades and I took actually kind of an annoying decent loss here. You can see that price opened at, what was that? No, that definitely wasn't it. Price opened way up here at 36.92. And I was not prepared. My major mistake for the day is that I was not fully prepared. I came in kind of slowly instead of really being aware of what could happen today. And what I probably should have done is I probably should just paid more attention to the daily charts because the daily chart really showed that we had the ability to take back everything that we made yesterday. And the reason I say that is we had a nice bounce, but we're still in this kind of bear market situation. And I think I was kind of expecting some kind of a bounce. My uranium stocks are um, up on the last couple days, and I think I was a little bit euphoric and not really paying attention to what's going on. So here's the daily chart. You can see we got this doji. We made a lower low yesterday, came up, and then there's just so much bearish news going on right now that I probably should have been paying more attention and being ready to really kind of move. But when price opened, it opened within range and on the POC. But the thing that could knock that out is the VIX was over 30, and I should have paid more attention to that. Anytime that we're in a market where stuff's just ripping, you can be surprised by how much stuff can move. And when the VIX is high, it can really move and to the downside. So that was my major mistake today. What I did well, I like having this 2 minute and this 2000 tick chart up. It's the tick chart shows you me a more, I guess I would call it ebb and flow of the market, where the 2 minute is more showing ebb and flow, but it's more extreme. This is more categorized. It's more easy to follow. So as it started falling, I should have just paid more attention to the markets. I probably could have shorted. I could have shorted anywhere in here and give myself enough stop, and then fallen out of bed. And then I thought, okay, this thing's probably going to hit 24 because I was doing a measured move situation. It did not hit 24, but what it did is it came down, and I thought, okay, there's 10 more points left. Okay, there's 10 more points left, and I was right each time. And I just was not aggressive enough to get into these trades. That was my next problem, is that I was a little too conservative, because on days where price is moving, just is bleeding and falling out like it was, I really should have been more aggressive and just gave myself a really wide stop. I finally did that, but it really wasn't wide enough, and so I got taken out for a decent stop, even though I knew the market was pretty dead. And then finally, I got my senses about me, and I got in right around this area, and I took it for a nice little gain. So that basically just got me out at break even, including fees. So that was great, because what I would normally do is I would hold it for too long. Now, the funny thing was, is, I got in here, I got out here. I could have held it for much, much longer, but my major a problem that I have is taking these losses and then holding on to them for too long. In other words, I'll take a loss, and then I'll take another trade, and it'll completely make all my money back, and then I just won't get out, and then I'll be kicking myself because I'll take double the loss. And so I said, I have the chance to get out now, basically at break even. I can always get back in. That's what I kept telling myself all day long. This is a down market. I'll have another chance. I can get back in. And that's exactly what happened. So eventually, this thing started doing its thing. You can see here it breaks. It could not break this low, so I expected, okay, maybe it'll go to the 661. And it did. And I thought, okay, I'm looking at price action. It's coming up into VWAP. It's not able to break. This high right here was not able to break any higher. And then it started to move. And I said, okay, I'm just going to take this flyer, and I'm going to assume it's so weak, and it grabbed enough volume that as it came up, grab the volume, it's probably going to have enough volume to come down. And they say in the market, sometimes it has to break lower to rally, and it has to rally to break. And I kind of went with that little Jim Dalton there for you, and it did. And I got almost 10 points out of that bad boy. So that's a nice gain. The reason I got out was because I didn't want to be greedy. This was kind of threatening me a little bit at this point, and I said, you know what? I'm going to wait for this last push, and it did. And I got out within 3 ticks of this very bottom right here, which is great. So that's something I can't be upset about. Uh, Denise Schull always talks about how trading is just a perpetual letdown, because even if you take a even if you take a good trade, unless you got in exactly the top and exactly the bottom, you're gonna be let down because you didn't make enough. And if you lose money, obviously that's a letdown too. So I love it. So I have to constantly tell myself, it's like, hey, get out at reasonable spots, and wait for the pushes. And if all I did is just take push trades, I would crush it. And so that's what I've started to do, is started to crush it, because I'm just being less greedy, but also expanding and contracting the way that I see my take profit on days like today, where, hey, VIX is really high, we have the potential to really move, and yes, we opened at VPOC, but nonetheless, it could still start hitting some of these lower levels, and it really went for it. It might hit it later today, but my final philosophy here is, hey, you'd had a great day, you missed a bunch of trades because the market went like this, it came back up, and then you took some of these down, which actually were the harder trades. The easiest trades were actually the ones that were over here when it was just following in a straight line. And so now I have to kind of battle this price action that's kind of in a range. And so I got lucky here. And so I said, hey, I took the level trade. I'm good. I made a nice profit for the day. If I made that every single day, I'm not going to be upset. So I can go home and not even worry about the charts and just focus on work.